6 provides game recaps every morning after. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis or the deep threes from Miles Turner. And catch the comments post-game about what happened on the court. Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus audio network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Did you forget the first day of school is this week and little Nancy still needs her name embroidered on her backpack? Or the company shirts are due now, not next week? Maybe the boss just declared Steve's retirement party is today and the shirts are mandatory? Whatever the rush, Big Frog Custom T-shirts and more in Mequon has got you covered with fast turnarounds, no minimums, eco-friendly printing, and high-quality custom apparel. Big Frog brings your custom ideas to life fast. Stop by Big Frog in Mequon or visit bigfrog.com/Mequon. Big Frog Custom T-shirts and more, where your ideas leap to life.
Big trucks can be intimidating. If you've been seriously injured in a truck crash, call Gruber Law Offices today. Trucking law can be extremely complicated. You don't want to take on the insurance company alone. Gruber Law Offices has the experience, the resources, and of course, the results. We know truck law. We know the rules and regulations. We know what it takes to win. Call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Homer here with a message about Three Pillars Senior Living Communities, located on a serene setting along the Bark River on 300 gorgeous acres. Three Pillars Senior Living Communities is a top-ranked full continuum community. Active adult, independent living, assisted living, memory care, skilled nursing, and rehab. Three Pillars, the hands-down choice for you or your loved one. Been there. Know people who live there. They love it. You got to go to Dousman and see it in person. Get all the info on Three Pillars at threepillars.org.
It's time for Marquette College Game Day, powered by ESPN Milwaukee.
The left hand missed it badly again, gets his rebound, gets the bend goal. He stuffs it. Oh, it's finished perfectly. Steal by Chase Ross. He'll come the other way. Carroll is back.
Where's the foul?
Carroll just got shown.
Presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook and sponsored by National Liquor Mart, Cousin Subs, Exterior Pros, Matrix Basement Finishing, and Marquette Athletics.
3 seconds left. Messina Moore. He'll try to put up a wild shot. It's no good. Marquette wins. Marquette wins. It's over.
Now live from Fiserv Forum, here's Matt Yeazel and Will Sommers.
We are talking about a win here on Marquette College Game Day and looking for another one as the Golden Eagles, coming off a nail-biting win over Xavier, look to make it 2 in a row against a pretty strong Villanova team as their Big East rivalry is renewed. Matt Yeazel, Will Sommers with you here from the concourse at Fiserv Forum. Golden Eagles faithful filing in on this Saturday afternoon, and you can keep the dial tuned right here to 94.5 all day long. We take you up to the top of the hour. Gabe Neitzel will have you for network pregame coverage. Homer and Tony, of course, have the call, and then after the postgame show with Shaka Smart, Will, it goes right into Green Bay Game Day. My Packers against Will's Bears.
Huge day.
And Will, I kind of like that you and I have a split show here on Marquette College Game Day because it reflects the campus very well. Marquette gets a lot of folks from the Chicago suburbs and plenty from the state of Wisconsin as well. I just know it's an electric day on campus today with this game as well.
And one thing we can both agree on is we're rooting for the Golden Eagles to take down Villanova today. And then we'll worry about what happens at 7 o'clock later. But right now we're focused on Marquette. We need a second win today.
Absolutely. And let's focus on that win to recap before we get into Villanova. 66-65 over Xavier. Marquette, another situation they had a double-digit advantage, right? And then the nerves start to file in, and you could feel the nervous energy in the crowd as that lead quickly slipped away. Xavier went on an 11-0 run, and then wild back-and-forth sequences at the end of the game. Marquette's turning it over, but ultimately they got it done. What did you see in the final minute of that one to where they could finally come out on top and end that losing streak?
Yeah, I think we've come to the point of realization where we just need to expect that scoring down the stretch is going to come at a premium, right? The last 5 to 2 minutes of every single game, there's going to be a lot of turnovers. There's going to be a lot of shooting yourself in the foot. But the difference I saw on Wednesday night against Xavier was that we were super gritty. We were doing the little things. One guy specifically, Trey Norman, all over the court, a guy that really hasn't played as much as we thought he would coming into the year. He's not getting the chances in these late game situations that they've been involved in so many this year. But what I saw from him on Wednesday night was his tenacity. He was all over the court on defense, grabbing offensive rebounds. It's guys doing the little things like that that leads Marquette to those victories down the stretch, which they've failed to convert so many times this year.
Absolutely, that's a great call out with Trey Norman, a guy who, you know,
and it won't show up in the stat sheet whatsoever.
Absolutely, you know, he played 13 minutes. He didn't attempt a shot, but that's a great point. He had an impact on the game late. I think my takeaway is just that. Look, it certainly did not look clean. I think my biggest take is that Marquette played a much better game against a much better team against Seton Hall last week, right here at home. They just lost that game in the final minutes. It was just a worse collapse at the end. So I don't feel amazing coming out of this one, but at the end of the day, you know, maybe you can critique the shot selection late in the game. You can critique the turnovers, but I don't think you can critique the effort from Marquette's side. Like Nigel James Jr. on that possession where he dishes it to Ben Gold for the dunk. Like, it was not a great shot attempt from Nigel, but then he, again, we talked about it last week, gets on his trampoline and leaps up and grabs that rebound. I mean, you can't question the effort and the heart Marquette showed to get that win. And I think that was my biggest takeaway coming away from that win.
Yeah, it was a complete team effort, and I think that outside of the turnovers, one guy to spotlight was Chase Ross. With Nigel James in foul trouble, Sean Jones out for the game, I thought Chase Ross, outside of the last 4 minutes where he had 4 turnovers, was awesome. He was forced to be the playmaker, and I think his playmaking ability that he showed, his ability to drive to the basket and then dish it to the big guys, getting Royce Parham, who also had a massive game, involved, was a big factor in Marquette scoring 38 points in the paint, which is something that we haven't seen from them this year, is them just absolutely going out and dominating the paint, scoring those easy baskets and getting a lot of offensive rebounds. So I think there's a lot to build on, and I think from Chase Ross, it was a way we've never seen him play before, right? Like, sure. And this team as a whole, like you said, in that first half and for most of the second half, it was a different style of play that gives you some hope, right? It's carrying that momentum from Seton Hall and UConn, where they may not have won those games, but I thought they played pretty well. And I thought Wednesday they kind of pulled it all together, and it's a style of play that's sustainable, right? It's so many different guys getting involved. I mean, when you look at the starters, 4 out of 5 guys in double figures, and the one that wasn't was Adrian Stevens, and he had 9. Stuff like that it's no longer the Chase Ross and Nigel James show anymore, where they're going to combine for 40 points. It's going to be everybody chipping in, and I think that's a huge key to success here in the Big East.
Adrian Stevens, by the way, questionable today. Not really sure what the purpose of that is or what the reasoning for that is, but hopefully we can get an update. Hopefully he can play today. Sean Jones remains out with that foot injury, which is a key loss for Marquette. I think that kind of showed in this one. I'm glad you brought up Chase Ross, though, because certainly that was kind of the headline, if you will, coming out of the game. 4 turnovers in the last 4 minutes. He had 8 on the game, but he also had 9 rebounds in this one. And
5 steals, too.
5 steals, great point, absolutely. You can see him kind of getting after it in different ways because he doesn't have it right now offensively like he has in the past. I think what sticks out to me is he only attempted 2 free throws on the night. Like, that's a stat I think could easily go up for him. Like, just take the ball and go. Like, that's where, again, even if it's not always clean with him, like, that's where he can be at his best, when he just gets the ball and goes downhill toward the lane. He can finish a lot of those, or he can get fouled. He's a tough kid, So that's what I want to see more out of Chase Ross. How do you think with him? He has struggled for the most part, but you seem to be encouraged by the signs you saw in that one against Xavier.
Oh, big time. And I've had this thought for a while, that I think that when Chase was struggling, he kind of just needed to take a step back and let the game come to him. It looked like he was trying to force it a little too much, force some ugly shots, trying to get to the rim when there's not really anything there. And I think teams kind of started to figure him out. Like, we saw him dropping about 20 points per game at the start of the year. And I think teams looked at Marquette and they were like, hey, this guy's going to get to the rim. And that's pretty much all they got. So I think it was really eye-opening. I bet it was eye-opening for Chase, too, that he was like, hey, I can get to the rim and help my teammates out and give them good looks, and we're going to win games if I do that. So let's do that more.
Absolutely. But, yeah, to your point, Royce Parham, one of the better games of his young career.
He was awesome.
14 points that led Marquette. And Adrian Stevens, again, it's big if he can't play today. He played 33 minutes against Xavier, which has got to be a career high for him. He had 10 points, played really well. So it's going to be interesting. What do you think overall this does for Marquette's confidence coming into today? Like, it didn't look clean, and maybe there was still plenty for Shaka Smart to work on in practice the last few days. But they pulled out a win, and they're still at home coming into today. against a team that I don't think they come in. Villanova's a good team. We'll talk about it. But I don't think Marquette is going to be like, we can't compete with these guys.
No.
Like, they're coming into your house, a place that Villanova has not won in 5 years. What do you think that win does for Marquette's confidence coming into today?
Oh, it's massive. And like I said, the past 3 games as a whole, the team has been progressing slowly. And on Wednesday, it was ripping off the Band-Aid finally. You know, getting that win. You could see on the court Chase Ross, Royce Parham, Ben Gold, how relieved they were when the final buzzer sounded, no foul, missed shot, Marquette win. You could see how much it meant to them. And I think, like you said, this is a winnable game. It is. Like, the line right now is around 3.5, 4.5 in that area. And Marquette at home, coming off that big win against Xavier, I think this is a completely winnable game, and the confidence has got to be there. Like, I think it's been building and building, and now it's peaking right now after finally ripping off the Band-Aid and getting that first Big East win.
100%. All right, well, let's dive into Villanova. I think it's one of the more fun kind of rivalries, matchups for Marquette in the Big East Conference. There have been some really interesting swings in this series. So let's get into some of the best moments of this rivalry and this Villanova team coming up on Marquette College GameDay. We'll be right back on your home of the Golden Eagles, 94.5 ESPN.
More Golden Eagles hoops talk coming up on Marquette College GameDay. 94.5 ESPN is the home of Marquette basketball.
Can you feel it? It's the thrill of witnessing a walk-off grand slam, a game-winning touchdown, a buzzer-beating 3. Yeah, you know the feeling. And there's only one place to experience that raw exhilaration. Potawatomi Sportsbook. Catch all the action in a supreme space with dozens of sports betting kiosks, cool drinks, luxe seating, great food, fiery atmosphere, and a monster video wall. Become a legend at Potawatomi Sportsbook. More info online. Must be 21 to enter casino.
At Marquette University, it's all about finishing strong, just like Matrix Basement Finishing. From first tip to final buzzer, Marquette plays with purpose and passion and precision values shared by the Matrix teams in every lower-level transformation they complete. Hey, it's Greg Matzik, and as someone currently having my own basement finished by Matrix, I can tell you firsthand, they truly live up to their name. Whether you're cheering from the stands or relaxing in your newly finished basement, remember the best teams and the best homes always finish strong.
From office lunches to family celebrations, Cousin Subs has the crowd-pleasing catering you need. Choose from customizable party boxes, individual box lunches, fresh-baked cookies, and our classic party chips. Everything you need to satisfy any size group, big or small. Ordering is easy online or on the Cousins app, so you can focus on the fun, not the food. Cousin Subs, we believe in better.
Hey, it's Gary Ellison for Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center. Looking to escape the cold or take a midday break? Get your game on at Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center, where it's always golf season. Play more than 2,000 courses, including over 50 right here in Wisconsin. And even that famous course where they hand out green jackets. Top tech simulators, great food, and the best Bloody Marys around. This is your year-round slice of summer. Bays start at just $35 an hour, Monday through Friday. Book your bay today at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
Hey, it's your friend John McGivern. In a world full of chaos, I'm grateful for a health plan that has my back. Network Health is so reliable and trustworthy, they always put me and over 126,000 members first. It's just what they do and what they've always done for over 41 years. Call 833-7-NETWORK today. HMO and POS plans underwritten by Network Health Plan. Compensation has been provided for using this endorsement of Network Health.
Wisconsin is still cattle country, and that's why Bunzel's chose to stay close to home to hand select the finest beef. Quality goes into everything they do, from Bunzel's expansive array of meats, homemade specialty sausages, and their award-winning beef jerky. It just isn't a proper holiday meal without Bunzel's top quality cuts on the dinner table. Tasting is believing. Visit Bunzel's at 90th and Burleigh or bunzels.com.
This is Marquette College GameDay, presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook and sponsored by National Liquor Mart, Cousin Subs, Exterior Pros, and Matrix Basement Finishing on the home of Marquette basketball, 94.5 ESPN.
Marquette College GameDay on this Saturday afternoon, a snowy one here in downtown Milwaukee. Marquette taking on Villanova. Marquette basketball knows how to finish strong, and so does Matrix Basement Finishing. Turn your lower level into a space you'll love with craftsmanship that delivers the win every time. Matrix Basement Finishing, proud partner of Marquette Athletics. Learn more at matrixbasements.com. Matt Yeazel, Will Sommers with you here from Fiserv Forum. And Will, I want to talk about kind of the matchup with Marquette and Villanova. It's a really fascinating one. I think before Shaka Smart took over, at least for me, I was a freshman at Marquette coming into the 2018 season, so that's when I really dove into Marquette. And it was like Villanova was the Goliath, right? Like they were the team to chase after. They were winning titles. They were always ranked atop the country, and it was like it was a big deal if Marquette was competing against Villanova. Obviously, you had that incredible moment at the Bradley Center where you upset number 1 Villanova. That's one of the better kind of moments that people remember in recent Marquette history. But in terms of kind of the new age of this matchup against Villanova, I want to point to Marquette's win. I believe one and only win still, or it was our first win at Finneran Pavilion at Villanova. 2021, Shaka Smart's first season at Marquette. That was not a team that had a ton of expectations coming into the year. And Villanova was ranked towards the top 10 in the country, I believe maybe number 11. And Marquette went to Finneran Pavilion and won 57-54. It was like one of the better Justin Lewis games of his career, 21 points. And since that point in time, 2021, Marquette completely swept through every game against Villanova until the last matchup last season.
They'd won 8 in a row until the second matchup last season.
Which is completely wild for how this series has gone. Again, Marquette just completely struggling on the road. But under Shaka Smart, it was a different story. However, most of those matchups were against Kyle Neptune, who is now gone, and Kevin Willard, who formerly Seton Hall head coach and most recently Maryland head coach, is now at the helm of the Villanova program. And it looks like things are starting to turn around.
Yeah, Kevin Willard, he took a Maryland team last year who really couldn't break through, to get on to be one of the national contenders, and he took them to the Elite Eight last year. It was a memorable run. He had Derek Queen. But the thing about Kevin Willard is that he really prides himself on his defense, and this season's no different. He's sort of, I like to call him like a system coach. You put him in wherever, and his defense is just going to thrive wherever you put him.
I was going to say, so it's not like system quarterback, where it's kind of an
system
insult.
Coach.
Yeah, okay, good.
You put
He is
him
the
anywhere.
system. Yeah.
Yes, he is the system. You look at the past. Jay Wright, 22-11 against Marquette, and then once Shaka Smart took over, he's 8-2 against Villanova since then. And Jay Wright passed the torch to Shaka, and let's just hope Shaka doesn't give it back to Kevin Willard. I don't want him to get it out to a 1-0 start in his first career matchup in the Big East against Marquette.
100%. But yeah, Kevin Willard, a lot of Big East familiarity, and another big name coming back from another big school in Maryland, and it certainly seems like a pretty solid hire for a Villanova
100%.
program. Big East is just full of...
He was like the biggest name coming into this season, and there was like reports last year that he had already accepted the job before Maryland played their Elite Eight game, so the Terrapin faithful was not too happy with him. I remember they were booing him as he was leaving the hotel to go to the final or the Elite Eight game. So
the college coaching drama is just
gosh.
off the charts.
In any sport.
Look at football right now. In the Indiana-Oregon game last night, they were talking about the assistant coaches are exhausted because they're recruiting for other schools.
Yeah. I believe, the Oregon offensive coordinator is the Kentucky head coach right now or something? It's ridiculous.
It's just awful. Maybe some reform will come soon. But certainly another name in a long there's a lot of high-profile coaches in the Big East right now. I think there's a lot of really good college basketball jobs because that's what happens when you have schools that only focus on basketball. Dan Hurley, in his last press conference, I briefly mentioned it last time, but he said Marquette is one of the best jobs in the country. You hear that a lot, and it brings you to the question, like Shaka Smart is the man who has that job right now. He's had it for a while, and it's gone pretty well until this year. And yet, as soon as things go wrong, the noise really starts to pick up. And I think it's a fascinating kind of dynamic in college coaching. So we'll see how Kevin Willard kind of takes that on at Villanova.
Yeah, and that's always like the question surrounding Kurt Cignetti and what he's done at Indiana. It's like if you're not bringing your program to the national stage in 2 years, you're done. Like with all the resources you have right now, if you're not getting the job done right away, they're going to do away with you, right?
Yeah.
Like why keep a guy around when you have the ability to make your team incredibly good in 1 year? If you can't do it in 2, see you later.
And theoretically, with the portal, of course, the transition for a new head coach can be quicker, right? Like Villanova went from not a great team last year to now. They are unofficially number 26 in the country. They're receiving a lot of votes to be ranked. They're competing atop the Big East. They do come in off a loss against Creighton earlier this week, a disappointing one at home. But, Marquette, like it was when Shaka Smart took over, it's like it's a brand new team. You don't know how it's going to look. They exceeded expectations those first few years, and I think it kind of sped up the timeline. But for a lot, at least back in the day, if you will, when new coaches took over, it was a long process to get their recruits in the building, get their system developed. But now that's not the case.
No, it's foot to the pedal, pedal to the metal. Everything, the expectations have never been higher in college sports, and I think it's just wild to me. Like you said, back in the day, you'd always wait to see for that coach's first recruiting class to come through, and that's when you really could evaluate them for the first time and say, hey, these are his guys now. The guys that he had on his team when he first got here were not the guys that he recruited. They were not the guys that he watched play in high school or transfers that he got. So you got to wait till his guys come in to see how this team really, plays. But nowadays, like you said, it's like you see it even with Marquette. Nash Walker was a midseason transferred in right at the break here for
he could be playing right now theoretically
at the university's break. And you see other schools like Illinois, they're bringing in EuroLeague basketball players who are playing right away. So there really is no buffer zone now for college coaches. It's you get in and you go.
Absolutely. All right, when we come back, we'll wrap up the show. A little more preview of what you're going to see on the court today. Again, this is a really good Villanova team coming to town that's looking to compete atop the Big East. Can Marquette pull a little bit of a home upset this afternoon? We'll wrap up the show after this on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee.
More Golden Eagles hoops talk coming up on Marquette College GameDay. 94.5 ESPN is the home of Marquette basketball.
Kick off the new year with a smarter home and bigger savings with Exterior Pros and Baths. New windows to lock in the warmth, durable roofing, eye-catching siding, or a stunning bath makeover. Start the year off right and get $3,000 off your project. That's right, $3,000 back in your pocket during our New Year savings event. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com today. This deal won't last all winter. Exterior Pros and Baths. New year, new home, done right.
National Liquor Mart is packed with deals to get you through the winter. During basketball season, remember to stop by National Liquor for all your Marquette pre- and post-game needs. If you're hosting a party and want to impress your guests, stop in to National Liquor where the varieties are endless. They have the cleanest store and the coldest beer. National Liquor Mart, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. National Liquor, open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily on the corner of 16th and National.
People say buying a home in winter is tough.
But fewer buyers means less competition, and motivated sellers can mean better opportunities.
This is Tony Wendorf with Tony Wendorf & Associates First Weber.
And I'm Lindsay Bendler. When the perfect home appears, our team at Tony Wendorf & Associates helps you move fast, even during the snow.
Start your home journey today with our white glove service by simply searching online Tony Wendorf.
A real estate team that always leads with faith and gratitude.
Tony Wendorf & Associates.
Kevin Moret here for Mentality. Listen up, gentlemen. You're fighting an unfair battle. Studies show testosterone levels in men have plummeted by 25% in just 2 decades. That's why you're struggling with energy, muscle, and drive. But here's a game changer. Mentality's FDA-approved treatments boost testosterone by 30% on average. Imagine reclaiming the vitality your grandfathers had. Picture turning heads, dominating your career, and feeling unstoppable again. Don't settle for today's normal. Seize the day at mentalityhealth.com/radio. That's mentalityhealth.com/radio.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at the Neal Group. Well, you made it. 2025 is in the books. Or is it? Are your books ready for 2026? Have you been able to plan for 2026 growth? If you feel like you are running your business on a wing and a prayer, let us help you make sense of your numbers and get your business in financial shape to move forward in 2026. Don't be stuck in the past trying to clean up your books. Get a head start on making 2026 your best year yet. Make the new tax laws work for you to put more money in your pocket. Call us now to see what your business can do. The first meeting is free. Call 414-325-2040 now. You earned it. We help you keep it. That's 414-325-2040. Or visit us at nealgroup.net. That's NEAL group.net.
This is Marquette College GameDay, presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook and sponsored by National Liquor Mart, Cousin Subs, Exterior Pros, and Matrix Basement Finishing on the home of Marquette basketball, 94.5 ESPN.
Wrapping up the show here on Marquette College GameDay. Marquette taking on Villanova. Start of a great day on the sports calendar here in Wisconsin. You might want to enjoy it at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Can you feel it? It's the thrill of witnessing a walk-off grand slam, a game-winning touchdown, a buzzer-beating three. Yeah, you know the feeling, and there's only one place to experience that raw exhilaration, Potawatomi Sportsbook. Catch all the action in a supreme space with dozens of sports betting kiosks, cool drinks, luxe seating, great food, fiery atmosphere, and a monster video wall. Become a legend at Potawatomi Sportsbook. More info online. Must be 21 to enter casino. Matt Yeazel, Will Sommers with you here. And Will, what do you see in this matchup? Villanova coming in kind of unofficially number 26 in the country. It would definitely be Marquette's best win of the season. What are the maybe strengths and weaknesses? Where do you think Marquette might have a chance to pull this one out?
Well, first of all, Matt, there's nothing better than some early afternoon Big East basketball on a winter day. Nothing better than that, right? Like the vibes inside Fiserv Forum right now are absolutely electric. Packed house today.
Good crowd filing in, absolutely.
Yeah, but what I see from Villanova, like I mentioned earlier, is a team that's really their strength has been their defense, right? And crazy enough, what Villanova fails to do on defense is to limit those easy shots. Like when teams are scoring against Villanova, they're getting to the rack and getting those easy shots. And funny enough, too, for Marquette, who hasn't really shot well from the field throughout the entirety of this year, is getting a lot of those open looks. So for Marquette, the key is really just going to be to capitalize on those easy shots. I mean, you mentioned a couple where Chase Ross and Nigel missed some easy shots down the stretch, so it's really going to be about limiting those mistakes because there's going to be such a small margin for error against, like you said, this Villanova team that's 26th in the country and is very good.
Absolutely, and Villanova, you hit the nail on the head with the defense for Villanova. They do have a fairly strong defense, but there is some things if Marquette starts to knock down some of the looks they've been getting where they can score today on this Wildcats defense. And Villanova, as I mentioned, comes in off a loss against Creighton. And coming away from that, Kevin Willard was pretty frank about his defense and his disappointment in the defense. He didn't care about the offensive end, he said. He was pretty disappointed in how the Wildcats defended.
System coach.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what he built his program around. And when you have that type of philosophy, if things go south, you can get pretty testy in your post-game press conference after a tough loss against Creighton. So for Marquette, I think you try to get Villanova while they're down, right? You try to take advantage of some things that they're going to be trying to work on. And by the way, just want to note here, this is Villanova's second game at Fiserv Forum this season. They did take down Wisconsin in front of a pretty sparse crowd, which is interesting. Earlier in December, just to note that. Wisconsin 0-2 at Fiserv Forum this year. If only Marquette played them at home this year, that's all I'll say.
Yeah.
But it should be an interesting one today. You mentioned the line 3.5 in Vegas, which is a little lower than I thought it would be.
I looked, Ken Palm's playing it out to around 7 or 8, which makes a little more sense. But I honestly, even if Marquette is able to keep it within single digits against Villanova, I don't think that's a bad loss at all. I mean, look at this Villanova team. They have 3 losses, like you mentioned. One came their first game of the year against BYU by just 5 points, and then Michigan's blowing out everybody. They lost by they got killed in that one, but they're a really good team. So if Marquette's able to keep it close, it's so tough because you need them to have a lead before the last 4 minutes of the game. You know, like we talked about, they've struggled so much coming from behind and maintaining those leads. So I think it'll play out very interestingly. Marquette just has to keep it close the entire game.
Well, that does it for us here. Marquette College GameDay ahead of Marquette and Villanova game night. So we'll have you next for your network pregame coverage. Homer and Tony, of course, have the call here at Fiserv. But then again, stay tuned for Green Bay Game Day and Game Night here on 94.5. Will be back in the studio producing those shows. Is Homer doing Game Night?
You bet.
After Marquette?
You bet he is.
Wow.
You wouldn't miss it.
What a day here on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. For Will Sommers, and myself, Matt Yeazel, and Andrew Zumwalt, our producer. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the game. Go Marquette.
At Marquette University, it's all about finishing strong, just like Matrix Basement Finishing. From first tip to final buzzer.